Chapter 9. Here in this quiet house, I sit thinking back the structure of my life, building again that which has fallen. It do seem to me that the life of man is merely a pattern scrawled on time, with little thought, little care, and no sense of design. Why is it, I wonder, that people suffer when there is so little need, when an effort of will and some hard work would bring them from their misery into peace and contentment? The slag heap is moving again. I can hear it whispering to itself, and as it whispers, the walls of this brave little house are girding themselves to withstand the assault. For months, more than I ever thought it would have the courage to withstand, that great mound is borne down upon these walls, this roof, and for those months the great bully has been beaten, for in my father's day, men built well, for they were craftsmen. Stout beams, honest blocks, good work, and love for the job, all that is in this house. But the slag heap moves, pressing on, down and down, over and all around this house, which was my father's and my mother's, and now is mine. Soon, perhaps in an hour, the house will be buried, and the slag heap will stretch from the top of the mountain right down to the river in the valley. Poor river, how beautiful you were, how gay your song, how clear your green waters, how you enjoyed your play among the sleepy rocks. I shall always remember the day I saw you after I had been in bed so long. That morning Mr. Griffith came to the house early and opened the door of the kitchen so that the sun shone in all around him. Big he looked, and full of happy purpose. "Good morning, Mrs. Morgan," he said. "Good morning, dear Mr. Griffith," said my mother in surprise. "It is good to see you." "I have come for who?" he said, as though he was asking to take a loaf for old Mrs. Llewellyn. "Who?" my mother asked, and looked over the table at me with her eyebrows almost touching this little blue cloth. "Yes," said Mr. Griffith, "this is the morning he has been waiting for." I looked at Mr. Griffith and knew, but my mother was still in fog with her. "The daffodils are out, Mamma," I said. "Oh, Hugh," my mother said, and put down the bread knife and turned her head away. "Where are your clothes, Hugh?" he asked me, but quiet and looking at my mother's back. "Under my pillow, sir," I said. "Your pillow?" he said. "For these months," I said, ready for today. "Come you then," he said, and smiling he was. "You shall bring back a posy fit for a queen for your brave mother, is it?" "Indeed I will," I said, and back I pulled the pillow, and out came my clothes that I had made ready ever since I had put my mind to the matter. Pain there was, and a helpless feeling in all my bones, but I was determined to have those clothes on. On they went, and no nonsense, though the stockings were big and the trews too short, but I had grown and got thin, so it was no use to grumble. There is a sight I must have looked when I put my legs out and stood up, but neither Mr. Griffith nor my mother looked at me, so I was spared to blush, and very thankful. "Up on my back, Hugh," Mr. Griffith said, and bent his knees so that I could put my arms about his neck. I shall never forget how shocked I was to find myself up on the shoulders of a minister. It seemed wrong to be so familiar, but there I was, and carried to the door. "He will be back in 2 hours, Mrs. Morgan, my little one," said Mr. Griffith. "God bless you," my mother said, and still not looking. "Goodbye, our ma'am," I said, with my legs falling about at the back. "Get ready the big pot for the daffodils. I will have an armful for you, and some for Bron." Outside then, and through the blessed curtains of air, spun with morning mist and sunshine, blown upon us by wind from the southeast, and the draughts that played in the valley. "Are you right, Hugh?" Mr. Griffith asked me. "Am I too quick?" "No, indeed, Mr. Griffith," I said. "Go you." "Right," he said. "Here is the road, and up by there are the daffodils. Tight now." For the first few minutes, I was shutting my eyes to get used to the sunshine, so raw and pure and shining white. Then I got used to it, and less tears came, and I was able to see without screwing up my eyes and having to blink. The first thing I saw was the slag heap. Big it had grown, and long and black, without life or sign, lying along the bottom of the valley on both sides of the river. The green grass and the reeds and the flowers, all had gone, crushed beneath it. And every minute the burden grew, as cage after cage screeched along the cables from the pit, bumped to a stop at the tipping gear, and emptied dusty loads onto the rigid, black, dirty back. On our side of the valley, the heap reached to the front garden walls at the bottom row of houses, and children from them were playing up and down the black slopes, screaming and shouting, laughing in fun. On the other side of the river, the chimney pots of the first row of houses could only just be seen above the sharp curving back of the far heap, and all the time I was watching, the cables screeched and the cages tipped. From the Britannia pit came a call on the hooter as the cages came up, as though to remind the valley to be ready for more filth as the work week went on, year in and year out. "Is that pit allowed to do this to us, Mr. Griffith?" I asked him. "Do what, my son?" Mr. Griffith asked. "Put slag here," I said. "Nowhere else to put it, my son," he said. "Look up by there at the top of the mountain, by the glass fryn. There are the daffodils, see?" And indeed there they were, with their green leaves a darker sharpness in the grass about them, and the yellow blooms belling in the wind, up by the glass fryn and all along the valley as far as I could turn my head to see. Gold may be found again, and men may know its madness again, but no one shall know how I felt to see the goldness of daffodils growing up there that morning. The glass fryn was the nearest place to our house where they grew. It was later that I pulled bulbs to grow in our garden, but the garden was so small and the earth so blind with dust from the slag that they gave up trying and died. But that morning Mr. Griffith put me down among them all, close to them where I could take them in my hands to breathe the cool breath of them and give thanks to God. Below us the river ran sweet as ever, happy in the sun, but as soon as it met the darkness between the sloping walls of slag, it seemed to take fright and go spiritless, smooth, black, without movement. And on the other side it came forth grey, and began to hurry again, as though anxious to get away. But its banks were stained, and the reeds and grasses that dressed it were hanging, and black and sickly, ashamed of their dirtiness, ready to die of shame, they seemed, and of sorrow for their dear friend, the river. "Will the salmon come up this year, Mr. Griffith?" I asked him. He was quiet a moment, feeling for his pipe. "I am told," he said, "that no salmon have been seen these 2 years." "And no trout either then," I said. "I am afraid not, Hugh," he said. "They cannot face that black stretch there." "Good," I said. "No one shall tell me again that fish have got no sense with them. Pity, I do think, that more of us are not thinkers like the fish." "Collect your flowers, Hugh," he said. 2 hours, I said to your mamma. She will be waiting. There is pity that we cannot dig all round the growing flowers and take earth and all with us. It is hurting to have to break the stems of blossoms and see them lose their rich white blood only for the pleasure of putting them in a pot of water. Still, I had promised, and there it was. So break them I did, an armful of them, and up on Mr. Griffith's back, and off home down the mountain. They is pleased with the people to see me indeed. Every door was open, and as we passed the women ran out to wave to me and wish me well. Up at our house, my mother was waiting with Bronwyn and Angharad in the doorway. "Well," said my mother. "Let me have him from you, Mr. Griffith," Angharad said, and put her arms about my waist, but I pushed her away. "Go on with you, girl," I said. "I am walking now." And walk I did, though a bit like an old spider with a drop too much in him. The wall was my friend till I came to my father's chair, and into that I fell. "Good," said Mr. Griffith, and my mother was making noises under her breath. "There is hungry I am," I said. "Wait you," said my mother. "You shall have a breakfast like your father now this minute. Cup of tea for Mr. Griffith, Angharad. You are standing there fast to the floor, girl." Bronwyn came in with the daffodils in the pots, and beautiful she looked with the gold shining into her face. "Soon you shall take little Gareth for walks, is it, Hugh?" she said, and pulling a blossom out here and pushing another in by there. "No," I said. "Soon I will be going to school and finishing and then down the pit with Dada." "Why down the pit, Hugh?" Mr. Griffith asked me. "Why not to school and college, then university, and then a doctor or a lawyer?" "Yes," said my mother. "Indeed, that is beautiful. Dr. Hugh Morgan, and your own house and a lovely horse and trap, with a good black suit and a shirt with a starch. Oh, there is good. Hugh, my little one, there is proud would I be." "I will not be a doctor, Mamma," I said. "Not 6 months ago, and Dr. Richard said I would never put my feet on the floor. This morning I went up on the mountain. Tomorrow I will go, and the next morning and all the mornings to come. I will not be a doctor." My mother gave Mr. Griffith his cup of tea and started to hit his sparks out of the fire, so I knew she had plenty to say, but holding it because of Mr. Griffith. "Say what is in your mind, Mrs. Morgan," he said, and smiling he was. "There is a pack of obstinate donkeys I have got for boys," my mother said, and angry too, turning to me and throwing the poker wherever it went. "Like old mules they are. If you say something that is good, no. If you say something that is bad, no. Whatever you say, no. They are the ones who know. If Dr. Richard is an old fool, does it mean that you cannot go to school and do better? Have sense, boy. You are not old enough to talk." "Yes, Mamma," I said, and the bacon smelled so good it was sending spit bubbling up in my mouth. "We shall see," said Mr. Griffith, and he stood to go. "On Sunday he shall come to chapel and sit in with the choir, and he shall sing a solo. That will keep his mind awake till then." "Oh, Mr. Griffith," my mother said, "there is pleased Llewellyn will be. Thank you indeed." "And no more talk of doctors or lawyers," Mr. Griffith said. "There is more than enough talking done by them without us wasting our time with them. Tomorrow morning, Hugh." "Yes, Mr. Griffith," I said, "and thank you." "God bless you, my son," he said, and smiled at my mother and went.